Dragon Riders recently got a buff, so we're gonna see what is the best army to use after the balance changes. Here we are, guys, and this is going to be our army. Now you can see we got a Lava Hound, we got some Dragon Riders, Ice Golem, Headhunter, and Wallbreaker is going to be for your queen, so she has some support on the outside of the base. As you can see, I try to make the equipment like as easy as possible. We're not gonna have a crazy like epic Minion Prince equipment or a giant action figure, you know, for the queen, or for example a lava loom puppet on the warden, things that not a lot of people might have upgraded or even have them in case you haven't been online for those past events. But this is going to be the most easiest equipment and simplest equipment that actually works, but you can definitely change a few things around it if you want to even make this strategy hardcore. So I'm gonna explain the army slightly, like what these spells do and how you're gonna kind of I would say avoid air defenses, because we do have a giant arrow which you can technically get an air defense and the sweeper after your RC already got a few things, so it's really good. Now for the poison, obviously you want to drop it on the enemy clan castle. If it's a furnace, always drop it on the furnace. And for the kind of I would say ice block spell, there's a few things you can do. You can ice block the Lava Hound if it's like into so much damage. You can ice block, for example, even a Dragon Rider and use a Headhunter to kill an enemy Minion Prince, which we will do in this video. For the ice block, you can also ice block the RC whenever you want to dive into a Giga Bomb, that you will again see how we're gonna do that. And yeah, honestly, for the Earthquake, I think everyone know already, it's gonna be like with the RC charge and the invisibility spells. So without any further ado, let's dive into these attacks and see how we absolutely crush these bases. Now guys, because we are just resetting on Legends League, the bases out in Legends aren't good, and I was like, you know what, let me bring my own bases to you guys, and you will see multiple variety of bases, from rings, double rage boxes, this type of bases where the rage is on the outside and the invisibility tower, diamond bases, so you can actually get to see how powerful the army is and not just me going through the most easiest Legends League bases. So as you see, we even using double of those invisibility to try to path the RC into our beloved hook tower. After that, the RC can come either way, can come down or can like go to the lower side or higher side, doesn't matter which one. Just make sure you are ready with the invisibility spells. This is where you can actually hold on to a few invisibility, because look at the defenses shield's gonna get. It's useless, and I already can see there is traps here, so I'm like, you know what, let me keep these invis, and the queen can actually get through this area. Once you can see this, like for example, now you have to kind of choose, right, where to drop the queen. Simply, there is a sweeper here and there's an invisibility tower here. You need to choose one, because firstly there is an expo here, so your queen can't have access to that expo. But the lower side, everything seems to be on the first layer, so the best option is for the queen to go on the lower side with the siege barracks and the nice giant arrow for that invisibility tower, so you can actually go behind the sweeper with the main army. Now, one thing I'm gonna do on some of these bases is to try to be a bit, I would say, versatile with the drop of the Dragon Riders. In this case, we had some on the top side, some on the lower side, and the Minion Prince to be able to cut these Dragon Riders into the main area of this base with this invisibility tower. You can see the Minion Prince taking down the enemy hero. On the lower side, we have the queen. Once you can see there is so many damage, you can actually drop the Ice Golem in front of the queen, or you can drop the Ice Golem at the back end where you can see there might be so much damage. Going with the Minion Prince ability, making sure the Furnace is also on their poison spell, Monolith is slow down, and on this attack I have the Lava Loom Puppet. I'm gonna have switch around like equipment. Obviously you don't have to have the Lava Loom Puppet. The Healing Tome works just as good and is just simply makes no difference, to be honest with you. And yeah, honestly, I was doing so many tests with this army before I bring it to you guys, with the equipment, with them like little things like that little Wallbreaker, the Minion, the Headhunter. These little things that I'm adjusting throughout the video actually made the army a lot better at the end. So yeah, honestly, I think we are getting this base done and dusted very nicely. And one thing you can actually notice is that the Dragon Riders, they don't typically, of course, go for regular defenses. So the main point of them is to clear the defenses, whilst your Minion Prince queen and warden and some, cleanup can actually get the rest. That's basically the main point. Like an OG dragon attack where you had the main dragons or E-dragons crush the core, and then Sui heroes on the backside will just clear whatever it's left on the back end. Now up next, we're gonna have a diamond layout, and one thing I'm gonna do like on these bases is obviously you want to send the RC first in the middle so it can cut the base into two different sides. Once that happens, then you want to see where the RC goes regarding the core, and you can actually redirect her into the core, which in this case we have the monolith. Some people might have multi-infernos or single infernos. That depends on the base, honestly, but you can see how we're gonna manage to go through. And yes, the new defense, the fire spinner, actually did take down my fox, so you can see that wasn't even the max level. So yeah, it's quite hard, but it is what it is. Now you can use the earthquake spell and the RC haste valve to get through the poison tower. Usually that's what I do whenever I see a poison tower, and your haste valve will actually be better used, making sure your RC is actually quite normal through that poison. Now again, this is where you could hold an invis, but I was like, you know what, let's get this expo so my queen doesn't take too much damage. This is where again you want to drop the poison on the furnace and then notice the sweepers. Obviously you want to get through the right sweeper because we are going through the left because of this scatter and this like little defenses that is going to be left, and the queen cannot reach it. Now one thing you're going to notice is that we actually have the sneezy with the queen, because if you have the healer puppet, the sneezy will actually bring those like kind of, I would say, boogers in front of those healers and actually tank very good in front of multi-archer towers and few things. Now on the left side we're gonna have some dragon riders on the side, and this is the beauty of them. They will clear the defenses, so your main army will actually stay in one lane through the entirety of the base. If you're going to have the giant in instead of the healers, the action figure, you don't need the sneezy on the queen. You can actually take the frosty and have the sneezy with the warden. Now notice what I do here. We're gonna have a frost ice block spell, so the minion prince is actually going to stay on those dragons whilst my headhunter kills it off, because obviously it's not dragons where they target everything, and that's the thing with the dragon rider. You don't actually need to care about risking on opposite side town hall, even if there is gaps. And wow, look at that minion prince ability, man. Even if there is gaps, the dragon riders will always path to town hall no matter what, because it's the defense and you're going opposite side, so there is an angle to reach the town hall. But with the regular dragons, they could easily just move away from it and you end up with a 1-star. Absolutely crushing this base with amount, was it 3 or 4? There's 3 dragon riders arrive, and yeah, I mean, holy hell, we crushed this base with 3 heroes alive too. So yeah, the army is super strong, and it's very effective against every single base style. Now you're gonna see like me attacking now with the lava loom puppet, but as you can see, the healing tome actually did better than the lava loom puppet on the last attack, but the main army is with the healing tome. I was just testing the lava loom puppet in action, so if you see it on the next replays, sorry, but it's going to be there. So yeah, let's move on. Now for the next base, I have a double poison core town hall, and what you typically want to do on these bases is try to get the monolith and the town hall that are on the core. Sometimes yes, the monolith might be on the outside, and sometimes there may be like different variety of the bases, but you don't really want to dive early into poisons. That's firstly. Secondly, you don't want to dive straight into the CC. You want to go from a side where the CC actually helps you to go into the core, but you already got a slight bit of the side. Now what this does is this layer here. Once you go inside here, you can go to the core and then you can come back out trying to grab these. These will make sure your queen has now very easier 1-layer path into the other side of the base. Earthquake spell, going with the ability, make sure the invisibility spells are very nicely dropped. As you can see, redirect the RC no matter what. You can always come back and get the value. Now here, the RC actually didn't go for the monolith, so yeah, you can kind of now notice, hold on, we can use the ice block in some aspects on this attack. You can keep things in front of the monolith, you can have better dragon rider drop, and you're gonna see how we're gonna do that. So I kept 1 dragon rider just for this other side, which yes, they're just a Tesla out of nowhere. Queen siege barracks on the top side, the healers. Here's where I actually forgot the queen ability. Yes, it happens, because usually you do this approach with the king and snake bracelet, but I forgot the queen and I could have easily taken down the air defense and the sweeper even if I wanted to. So that's the problem with this side of the base. These two are gonna be annoying, and it is what it is. Monolith will soon go down. Don't forget the cleanup in case you missed something behind this stuff. And I wanted to tank this multi-archer tower with the ice golem slightly and try to freeze the back end, but you know what, it wasn't the perfect timing. So you can have obviously like see how you can do that. And I was like, you know what, why my queen is having so much damage on her? Where are my healers? And I was like, oh my god, now I noticed I actually didn't pop her ability. So I was trying my best to pop her ability to grab the back end air defense, because look at this. After this I thought the queen will actually go to the wizard tower, but no, unfortunately this back end is actually going to hurt us a bit, but it is what it is. Mistake happened with the queen ability not popping in at the early in the attack, and yeah, it's going to come way closer than the other attacks. But obviously, typically you want to drop that RC to grab the best value in the core and just funnel one of the sides. The side with the less funnel, you want to drop the dragons. The side with the one layer area, you want to drop with the queen and the siege barracks. Now on the next side we have a double rage base, which I'm gonna play this replay. So one thing I'm gonna tell you guys to do is always get this defense that is literally right in the center. So you don't want to just straight dive into this area. Now notice my invisibility spells. In case there is a Tesla, we're gonna cover it. You can see we're covering between the mortar and these two. So this way the RC, even if there is a Tesla, it will still redirect. Some people try to go with this invis on these defenses. Well guys, you don't need to make the Expo invisible. Like the RC not gonna see it anyway. Now you can see there was a Tesla, so in case something happened, you would have covered it. Now you can choose. Are you going to go with the ice block spell on the Giga Bomb? It depends how low your Fox is, honestly, but sometimes you don't necessarily have to do it. But look at this, man. Honestly, here we didn't need it, because the ice block doesn't fully counter it, as if the Fox is low, it will actually go down and take some damage. It's not fully like invincibility. So yeah, now with the RC haste valve, we're gonna go and crush this entirety side of the base. And I actually wanted to go into the Giga Bomb because the other side would most likely have the tornado. Whenever you see a Giga Bomb like this, not in High Legends. In High Legends, they play mind games. There might be the tornado in exactly like Giga Bomb spot, but it is what it is. Now you can see we actually cleared the CC. So in this case, you can use the poison for better, but notice that air defense and sweeper gone. This is why I like to use the queen instead of the king and snake bracelet. Now we have some dragon riders with the main army, some on the side, and we're gonna have an ice golem and more dragon riders on another side, just to have more angles. At the same time, we are spreading the damage. Look at the fire spitter, multi-archer tower, and air expo. Everything is separately with the damage. So now we're gonna go with the warden ability. Again, I would actually rather have a healing tome here. This was just my testings, and we had a lava loom puppet. It literally does nothing, honestly, and yeah, it maybe took one trap with it, but no actual cleanup right now. And the good thing with the lava loom puppet is that you actually bring some cleanup with these little minions to try to clean the base. Now, sometimes your minion prince can stay behind the army because the dragon riders do target the defenses, so they will get forward, and there is no issue with that. As I told you, you typically want to get the defenses and then try to finish the space off with whatever it's left, like your queen, the P.E.K.K.A.s, you know, like the cleanup, your minion prince with the phoenix. So much is still left from this base. Like these three things or whatever it's left here, they can easily get another 30% off a full tunnel 17. That's the thing. So the dragon rider's whole idea is to clear the damage and let the heroes finish the base. Simple as that. Now we're gonna move on to another base. It's going to be a box with double poison. So up next we have a box, and with the double poison there is a hook tower in the core, and as you can actually tell, yes, I made it as hard as possible with the dragon and the air attacks. You didn't see me just, you know, going with a crusher where it doesn't matter, like, you know, the crusher mortar. So yeah, I wanted to make sure I bring the every base style for you with the hardest like defense, crafted defense possible. Now once you can go through this entire left side of the box, you want to make sure the RC goes to the town hall, and again the CC will make sure you have access to the core. These are like the little, I would say, issues with the bases, and every base has them. Sometimes the CC might be on the other side, and you could do the same but with different angle placement of the RC. Make sure you make these ice golems kind of invisible, and if you need to pull them out of the RC way so she doesn't actually kill the ice and gets frozen. Now the RC is gonna have the sweeper, so I invested our last invisibility spell. It's good to get the sweeper because now, as you can see, the layer here on the outside is good for the queen and the siege barracks, and this exact path can be good for the dragon riders. That's why I was able to get the other sweeper nicely with the last invis. Now I tried my best to get the other air defense, but it just didn't work out. Maybe we could have even got this one, but I was a bit greedy with the early air defense. We have a lava hound, so yeah, I just wanted the lava hound to go very deep to find every trap in this angle, and it's not gonna happen. Queen with the siege barracks are going to be safe the entirety of the attack. I tried my best to ice golem this area, but there is of course a spring trap. Now once this entire area is getting heavily with the damage, you can go with the warden ability. If you don't need to, don't go for it obviously, but as you can see, again, the siege barracks and the queen is now out. They're gonna clear a lot of the things. Warden ability with the healing tomb going into the base. This is where, as I told you, the minion prince might stay behind on some attacks, so be patient. Let the dragon riders get their defenses done so your minion prince and queen can actually have nicer time on the back end. Meanwhile, you still have the minion prince ability, so don't even rush it. Make sure you have a nice angle with that. And with that being said, you can see the ice block on this attack didn't get used for the dragon riders or didn't get used for your RC. So what to do with it? Well, you can easily just tank the back end in case something is going, as I said, under a Giga Bomb, or something is tanking the minion prince. You can tank a single Inferno if it's on your heroes to make sure it stays on them and other heroes finish them off. On this case, I was, you know what, let's just swag it on the queen, you know, we're just gonna tank it like this. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this army, because obviously the dragon riders are hitting hard, and trust me when I say this army can easily be even used in hard mode when you have good funnel with the royal champion. Hopefully again you guys enjoyed this. The link of it will be down below in the description. As always, use code BLUE in the store. We would appreciate the support from every single one of you. Take care and peace.